Hey guys, what's going on? It is Wednesday, and if it is Wednesday, it is time for Story Time with Taffy, episode number 15. It's actually Wednesday. I had to put this off until the day of. I don't like to do that. I normally like to record it on Sundays, but it's been a crazy big week for the channel. In case you may have missed it, the KYR Speedy Passive Aggression hit respawn this week, and it is absolutely blown up. That is thanks in no small part to the passive aggressive army and the fans of KYR Speedy. Now, I've always said that the PA Army is one of the greatest groups of subs on the planet, but if I ever had to wonder whether or not we had the best subs, it was because I ran into KYR Speedy's fans. And I tell you what, man, when those two groups collided, when those two groups joined forces, it created a brilliance, a flash of awesomeness. It was like that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where the Nazis looked into the Ark of the Covenant and their fucking faces melted off. I'm doing this show today with no face because the awesome that came off of these two groups of fans coming together just blew off my skin and flesh. So to both groups, the PA Army, KYR Speedy subs, and to those fucking awesome guys who are both, thank you very much. It's been an amazing week. It's our first video to ever hit over 3,000 likes, and it did it in the first 24-hour period, which absolutely blows our mind. We're not done. Next week, Blame Truth. The week after that, C-Nanners. The week after that, Mad HD Gamer. And on deck, we have folks like Straight Up Knives. We're in communication with Russell, the man who actually does the Ownage Pranks voice, so we could have him and Crooked Rain in the same lobby. We're trying. We're trying really hard to get all the guys that you want to see, and some people that you may have not even thought of that we just think will be cool to play with. Plus, God, it gets better. I have an animatic, which is basically a moving storyboard created for me by James Bowman, our animator that we picked up to do our humorous PSA, and if that goes well, we may keep him on board with the channel as kind of a part-time MrWoofless channel animator so we can start cranking out more creative content. How fucking cool has this week been? Fantastic. Let's jump right into the story. This week's episode is brought to you by my buddy Andrew Ham, who, whilst in the middle of a big recording session, prodded me into telling a story of a voice recording session that I had as a voice actor, and I finished off the story and he looked at me and he said, "You need to tell that for story time." And so since I've spent such a ridiculous amount of time in front of a pop filter and microphone for the channel this week, I might as well just go ahead and continue to tell stories about being in front of a pop filter and a microphone. This week's episode, number 15, comes from Andrew Ham, who says, "Hey Taffy, why don't you tell that story that you told me while we were voice recording for the MrWoofless channel this weekend?" To that I say, okay, let's do it. For those of you who don't know, I have a degree in theater arts as an actor. I just recently started writing when I started working on this channel with Rob. But when I lived in Philadelphia, I got sent to an audition. The audition itself was really bad for me. I wasn't really well prepared, and just like anything else in life, if you're not well prepared, you're probably going to have your ass handed to you. My wife was desperately trying to help me out and get me into auditions, and for normal auditions, I was set. I had monologues set, I had the right outfit picked out all the time. You know, I'd been doing enough regular theater monologue auditions that you could just grab me at any given point in the course of my day and say go, and I'd turn and have something ready for you. But this was for a company that did mostly voiceovers, and I wasn't prepared for that kind of audition. They asked if I would like to be able to submit a script for a teleprompter, and I could just read the script off the teleprompter while looking into the camera. But since they said, oh, you're just gonna be talking about yourself, I didn't really think about it. I was like, no teleprompter, I can talk about myself all day long. The more things change, the more they stay the same. So I got there and I thought this would be really easy, and instead I stood there and I floundered like a fucking asshole for like 20 minutes. I mean, it was just one of those all-time epic audition meltdowns that you hear about actors talking to other actors. One day I was at this audition and this kid named Ryan just totally fell apart. I mean, he couldn't find his words, and he was near tears, and he was about to start crying, and his face melted off like when you look into the Ark of the Covenant. I mean, it was bad. And the next day I had my car broken into, so it was just a really shitty 24-hour experience. To my amazement though, this place did business a little differently. They said they would never contact you. They saved your video and they showed it to clients, and they'd never contact you unless the job was already yours, unless the client pointed to your video and said, we want him, we want her to come in and do our voice work. So they contacted me one time, and I went in to do this voiceover work for this place, and I sat down and they gave me the copy and I was reading it over, and they said, okay, it's a company, a pharmaceutical company that's come up with a new brand of condom, and this new brand of condom has applicator strips so that when you put the condom on, there's less room for human error, because instead of rolling it down by hand, you grab these applicator strips and you pull down and it rolls itself out, which I guess ultimately sounds like a pretty good idea. I'd never thought of a condom as being an incredibly complicated piece of machinery that needed an instruction manual, but I mean, I guess if it only takes fucking up one time in order to really screw yourself over, then I guess better safe than sorry. So there's me, there's another guy, and there's a girl, and we're all sitting inside this waiting room, and we're having some water, and we're chatting with each other and telling actor stories about, oh, well, I've been working on this project, and this project, and this project. So the girl goes first, and she's in there for about 20 minutes, and she comes back out, and she smiles and shakes everybody's hand and walks off. The guy goes in, and he comes back out about 20 minutes later, and he smiles and he shakes everybody's hand, and he walks off. So I go in there, and they hand me the script, and it's, you know, it's fun and peppy and kind of hip, and it's apparently going to go on their website, and it's going to be a part of their sort of active tutorial, you know, fake testimonial, actors describing their real life experiences about how the product is awesome. So I go in there and I do my little hip paragraph where it's, you know, it's the kind of script that ends with, and that's how we roll, because, you know, the condom rolls out. This is kind of giving you a mental backdrop. So I do it, and I read it a couple different ways, and the sound technician chimes in, and I'm sitting in this little, like, booth, this old telephone booth size room with a desk in front of me and a pop filter and a microphone, and he's communicating to me through an intercom, and he clicks in and says, all right, Ryan, hold on one second, I'm gonna go ahead and send your audio files to the client off-site. And I said, all right, sounds great, man. So I'm chilling, I'm hanging out, and I'm waiting. And he clicks back in, and he says, Ryan, has anyone really talk to you about how this sort of online commercial is going to be set up? And I said, no, not really. And he said, well, we got 3 different demographics that we're aiming at. So we've had the girl come in and she did her part, and the guy came in and did his part. And I think what they want you to do, what they want you to be, is the voice for the gay community in this particular advertisement. Like, they want you to be the gay representative. Well, for the amount of money they were paying me, my feelings aren't hurt at all. If you actually want me to do this commercial with a stapler that you have in the office shoved up my anus, I'm gonna do it, because frankly, I got paid $175 for about a half hour's worth of work. My humility can be purchased cheap. It is at wholesale prices at the moment. So I said, oh, okay, gay testimonial. Yeah, sure, man, I'm down. Just let me know what I need to do differently. How do I need to change things up? And he says, well, hold on, Ryan, what's that? I said, how do I need to change things up? What would you like me to do differently so that my voice recording sounds a little more gay? And he clicks back in and he says, change? No. They thought the last 2 or 3 takes have been fantastic. I just want to let you know that you did it perfect from the first shot. So yeah, like I said, $175 for about 25 minutes worth of quote-unquote work, where I basically just sat in front of a microphone. But yeah, there was a little humbling to be like, no, you're as queer as you can be. Relatively short story time this week. I just wanted to make sure and get it up for you guys. Hopefully we have all sorts of really super cool stuff on the horizon. It's an exciting time. We're making friends, we're making connections, we're expanding the channel, which means that we can hopefully bring you even more entertaining content in the future. If you're a new subscriber over here from KYR Speedy's channel, we welcome you. If you're an old subscriber, we thank you for sticking with us the whole way. It should only get bigger and better from here. As always, head down to the comments section below. Let me know what you think. Feedback, comments, suggestions for next week's story time. I will take them all, because episode 15 is in the books. And as always, it's been a blast putting it together for you guys. I'm feeling incredibly grateful, because this time last year we had about 30 subscribers, and now we're kind of a big deal, if you don't mind me saying so myself. But for now, you'd be doing me a huge favor if you would give me something to read below. On behalf of the MrWoofless channel, this is Taffy, and I am out.